fact, I believe that I pass my neighbor is the closest thing that Nigerians have to a Nigerian dream. The idea that you step in and say, oh, I want you to praise God because there are people who slept and did not wake up. You understand? There are people who are currently in the hospital, in the mortuary, but we are in the presence of God. Shout that. Get that. What is it telling that person? That God loves you is based on the condition that another person is suffering.
People measure success as when they see that they are better off in a certain thing than another person. They feel like, oh, this is what makes me successful. As long as I have this thing and other people don't have it. So I don't even care about other people not having it. As long as I have it, then it's more like I'm successful. However, there should be a collective mindset towards the fact that I shouldn't just think about for myself. I should think for other people, and that is where compassion comes in and empathy.
For some reason, I don't know, the name of that generator became my first my name. Then you hear people say things like, oh, we don't have money to buy gen, but at least, let me go and buy
better person.
There's no need of asking you how are you just because of this podcast. She not me, it's me.
No, you should ask me how I am because I could actually say some things that you might not even know.
On camera, you not tell me off camera. It's on camera that you not tell me.
Oh, sorry, that's right. So how far? We're talking about I better pass my neighbor mentality in Nigeria.
Yes, I pass my neighbor mentally.
No. Pass my neighbor mentally. What do you mean? Okay. So the I better pass my neighbor mentality, is it more like a general thing that you have noticed?
Yes. So I remember from childhood we had a neighbor that bought generator. That small tiger generator there. And for some reason I don't know, the name of that generator became my first my name. Then you hear people say things like, oh, we don't have money to buy gen, but at least, let me go and buy
better person.
So
you feel like, aside the gen being like known for that, people also have been acting in that manner too.
I think it's symbolic of the general consensus of how people sort of like judge themselves. I think that thing is a subtle message, not just a subtle message, it's a very obvious message on the kind of society that we have. In fact, I believe that I pass my neighbor is the closest thing that Nigerians have to a Nigerian dream.
Oh, that's harsh.
Yeah.
You know what Nigeria is? That's generalizing something. Say some or most Nigerians.
I'm not going to say most Nigerians. So when I say when I say the Nigerian dream, it means in a collective sense, what do we look forward to? What do we see? How do we affirm ourselves as a group? So I feel like I better pass my neighbor is the closest thing because there is no collective sense of identity, number one. So I believe that I pass my neighbor is the closest thing that me and you have to the American dream.
Yeah, but can you give basic examples of how you think people exhibit that mentality of I better pass my neighbor?
Okay, simple. I think for that generator scenario, what they're trying to say is that at least I have light. At least I have light. My neighbor doesn't have light. Because then the reason why people bought generator was because there was no light.
Yes.
You understand? So when the power goes off, it's people that now have generator that can actually have light. So I better pass my neighbor is there. It's the fact that at least our bulb they show light and the person's bulb is not showing light. That means we are better off.
I don't necessarily think it that way. I think that if I have the privilege of being able to buy something, and I feel like my comfort means that I want to have electricity for myself, for my children, and all of that. That doesn't necessarily mean that I have the mindset of I better pass my neighbor.
Yeah.
Because if you just put it to that alone, then it looks like anyone who puts on their gen is having a better pass my neighbor mentality. I feel like beyond the gen, yes, I know we said with the gen, but beyond the gen, I feel like that I better pass my neighbor mentality happens to people even in the workplace, even in religion, where we feel like, oh, for me and my family we are different. And that's also relative in a certain way, but I just feel like we're taking it a bit so much where people don't think about other people except themselves. And that is where this sharp guy mentality too comes in, where someone feels like I'm sharp, and that's their meaning of being sharp is that they will have to deceive somebody else, exploit somebody else to look in a certain way, and for them that is them being sharp. So they say sharp guy, sharp guy, sharp guy.
So let me what you I disagree with you on your comfort. You understand? So that's how these things can mask themselves. Yes, it's not an obvious, oh, I am better than my neighbor. You don't have to say it. You understand? But the fact is there is an existential problem. Say for example, this place was drowning. You understand? And I enter here and I see your own things. And I first of all pack my own things and say, oh, it's for my own comfort. You understand? It's for my as long as other people's as long as your own clothes are floating in water, I am fine. As long as that thing is happening to, as long as it's not happening to me, yes, you can be comfortable, but
sometimes comfort could also mean the comfort of other people, because I've also seen people who put on these generators and even give light to maybe their next door neighbor, because that is what they can even manage at the time.
Yeah, so it happens occasionally. You understand?
Yeah.
It happens occasionally. I'm not just trying to say, oh, at every situation, there are people who give, light to other people. But I'm saying generally, this is a sense of as long as I am comfortable, as long as I am doing better. There's people that rub it on other people's face, And the thing is that we now also measure success. We measure success not based on the things we have, but based on what other people don't have.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah, that one is right. Yeah.
At least we see food chop. What are people who know seafood?
So people measure success as when they see that they are better off in a certain thing than another person. They feel like, oh, this is what makes me successful. As long as I have this thing and other people don't have it. So I don't even care about other people not having it. As long as I have it, then it's more like I'm successful. However, there should be a collective mindset towards the fact that I shouldn't just think about for myself. I should think for other people, and that is where compassion comes in and empathy.
And another thing that I think is also general knowledge that people exist in group and not individual. You understand? If something is happening to some, and the thing somehow I feel like we have a sort of like short-term memory. We assume the permanence of things. Just because I have light doesn't mean that they will not take light again. You understand? Oh, because now I have light, it doesn't really matter whether other people don't have light. As long as our own transformer is good, assuming that condition is actually, like they say in Nigeria, no condition is permanent. So it creates an amnesia that you not knowing that this thing that is happening to another person has a potential to affect you. Understand?
Yes.
But because of we are so engrossed,
and that is why it's very easy sometimes for us to criticize people. You get, or it's easy for us to look down and call out on people who might genuinely be going through things, because you feel like you can't think about yourself in their shoes or in their position. So it's more like I'm better than them, and you can now dish out what you think.
Yeah. So let me tell you this story. Someone, I think it was a comedian I think it was Bovin, that pointed out the fact that the thing is that this thing can create an inflated sense of self-worth. You understand? You now see those situations where they say people are now forming, some people will say, be who you want to be and everything. But what I'm pointing it out is, why I'm saying this story is that I remember Bovin was saying one time that whenever he goes to negotiate with some certain people, he goes with a white person. You understand? He goes with a white person. Why? So that they will not hassle him too much.
But how does that relate to their better pass mentality?
Is that inflated sense of self-worth? You understand? Is that, for example, what he's trying to say is that if that person have a perception that they are better than you, they will now cheat you. They will not regard you. So you have to be like it.
Yeah.
If they feel if there is a sense of this is not, maybe they negotiated with you over the phone and then now see the kind of car you are driving, that sense of superiority complex, I'm even better than this person, that means I have to now treat him lower, or even with disrespect and disregard.
Yes, let me go say, like, even this thing that we do say, Mr. Eddie, that we don't joke around it. So it was about one man that came to the restaurant to buy food, like all these fast foods. So I think the guy who was serving was kind of maybe delaying or something, but he wasn't maybe doing as the man expected. When the man there, was shouting, I can buy you! I can buy your fast food! So since that, they want to joke, we say, I can buy you! But yeah, that actually shows how much people can go at, like, because how can you tell someone that you can buy the person? Yeah. So because to you, you're better off than the person, you have enough finance, you feel like, oh, you have arrived. So because this person is not doing as much as you think they should do, or has even delayed your food by 2 seconds, it now turns to you showing off yourself, to think that you're better off the person who is serving food. And that's the thing too that happens when people work in environments and they look so much down on even the domestic staff, the security people, because it's more like, I'm better than you, what can you do for me? Who are you? So they get to talk to people anyhow, get to behave anyhow to people because of that so-called I better pass my neighbor mentality.
Yeah.
And in fact, even in some organizations, right, let's say something is about to happen, even among team members, it's more like, because I feel like I know better in this area, and I'm better off than all of you.
Yeah.
So I get to act the way I act, I want to act, I get to talk the way. And it's funny enough how even sometimes, even we Christians dabble into all of these things. And now we use God to elevate our pride, to say that, imagine me praying now and condescending, looking at someone in a condescending way and see myself as the one that God should elevate in my prayer, because I feel that is how God thinks, but that is not actually how He thinks.
Yeah, special.
Yes, but that's why I'm not special.
Like,
I know there is this story that my mom told about.
I'm sorry, let me say this thing before I forget it. You are made in the image of God. Other people are made in plywood material.
Yes, it's plywood material. I think that was the story that my mom told me one time. I can't really remember if about it, but it was more like people who were praying on the altar, and then one woman, people were just like different people praying, and then one woman was she was trying to raise her voice because she felt like that those people who were also praying were competing with her. Yeah. So it's not like a more competitive raising of voice. So it's not like if I raise my voice more than these people, then it puts me in a better position for God to answer my prayer. So I don't care about them. I just care about myself, and God hearing me. So yeah, the better pass view mentality. The truth is this, sometimes too, I won't say that I have not even been in those places where I have thought in that way, really. Yes, we grow every day, but sometimes, there's that feel good feeling that comes with the fact that you feel like you're better off than someone else beside you. But that in itself is deception.
So the religious aspect, it's even more. I think the religious aspect even metasize the balkanization of our collective identity. What am I saying? The idea that he's stepping and say, "Oh, I want you to praise God because there are people who slept and did not wake up." You understand? There are people who are currently in the hospital, in the mortuary, but we are in the presence of God. Shouted. Get that? What is he telling that person? That God loves you is based on the condition that another person is suffering. That the love of God, you understand, is based, on the fact that your neighbor's heart is in misery, that somebody is in pain, that your neighbor is suffering cancer, is passing through difficult challenges, that you should be happy, that you are not that person. And that's actually a proof.
So that's the good thing, is that sometimes these caveats are not even healthy for us Christians.
I think it's a very dangerous thing.
And sometimes we don't even know.
We don't know.
I'm not conscious.
And that's why sometimes in Nigeria, when you explain to some people that, do you know that this thing is happening? And they're like, they don't know.
But I also think that this comes from this, I think it's a cultural thing in a way. Let me tell you how. You see a child from, let's say a child who is primary 1 or primary 2 or primary 3, and the moment they check their results, the next thing they want to check is their seatmates' result or their friends' result.
Yeah.
And as long as they are doing well, in fact, to be honest, when I was in primary school, I really saw some of my classmates they do these things, you know. And now growing up, I'm wondering, where did they learn those things from? So imagine it's coming from a small age where they feel like they are better off because the other person did lesser than them.
Yes.
Instead of the mindset of, oh, fine, I did well, but I also feel for my neighbor, or I feel for my seatmates, or I feel for my friend that they could have also done well with me. In fact, even in schools then, I know of, when I was in secondary school, of one particular person that people always complain that whenever they ask her, I'm not trying to exalt the idea of cheating or anything in the example, but when they ask her, instead of her to tell you that she's not going to tell you, she'll give you all the wrong answers. Yes. And as long as the person is taking the first position, then she's very happy.
And another aspect of it is, as long as all of us has an F.
And that one is not your name you fail.
You understand?
Yes.
So you go and check your results, you see,
yes, as long as we all fail
then
together,
the next thing you want to go and make sure that other people have more, as long as they have more F than you.
Than you're good. You feel like you're better.
You're now successful.
You're feeling good about it.
You are now successful in your own.
But that means that mindset is very terrible, because this is now eating into us as adults. It's into the way we see things, the way we see people. So it now robs people of empathy and compassion, where it's more like, as long as he's not me, I don't care. As long as I'm not in that place, I don't care. You know, I mean, it's not nice, because you should have a sense of what do you call it? The communalism.
Yeah, a sense of community, number one, and it's now forming a society of dog eat dog.
Yeah,
and it's also now forming a society of gatekeepers to success. You know, because people want to be better than you, whatever that makes them succeed, they gatekeep it.
Yes, in fact,
that's why
even this idea of sharing knowledge, people want to hold on to something that will better another person's life, because they feel like the moment you know, they are gone. That's
sort of like maybe esteem that they have is gone, and that person knows it, so that person might get that opportunity. Or that person might be better than me.
I've had situations whereby, because I'm teaching someone what I know, like they are shocked, and the person will be wondering, like,
what is in it for you?
Yes, what is in it for you? So it's more like, this is not common, you know, in our society. It's more like, when you know something, you don't want to share with somebody, because there's that belief in your head that once you share, they will take your glory, they will take your shine, they will grow more than you.
So this thing now, so it forms gatekeeping. You see it in almost every facet of Nigerian society. For example, even in music, you hear that, oh, they have cabals. You get, they have cabals. You go to markets, they have cabals. You go to any small thing, they have cabals, they have gatekeepers. Why? Because number one, apart from protecting their own self-centered interests, they also want to, you know, uphold that idea that they are the ones, nobody else, unless they make you. You understand?
Yes.
So that they could be better than other people.
Yeah.
And those they come from insecurity of success.
Insecurity.
Because
even leadership insecurity, people insecurity, you know, feeling that you don't have to come up there. They just always have to be the ones taking the limelight, shining, taking the applause. So they don't teach you what they know.
And that's also the reason why whenever they go to UK, the first thing they do ring light and start telling me how difficult it is.
Yeah. And I feel like if we had this idea of and sense of community, and it's more common among us, it will also help us to thrive faster than just holding something.
There is no place where people succeed individually more than a place where they work together and succeed.
Yes, because when you find a team of people, even in workplace environment, when you find a team of people who are working with one mind
and dedicated,
yes, you see that they rise up together faster than when one person is the one trying to take the shine. Or kind of team, there'll be kitty kata kata everywhere.
So the reason why I want to talk about the diaspora is that people wonder why when Nigerians go there, you understand, they start telling other people not to come because they want to be better than you.
Yeah. sometimes there's also that pride that's rooted in the fact that make I day here, they enjoy our.
We don't want many Nigerians. We still want to retain that premium. We want to be better than you. That is why we are going and telling you not to come.
In fact, our uncles then that will always find me.
Their own is the worst. I remember when you meet them and tell them and everything, and they'll not start telling you how corrupt.
Yes.
You know, that place, don't come. They think they gay marriage, you know.
It's not easy.
And everything easy and everything.
Uncle, they are doing fine and their children are doing fine.
You're there now for 16 years.
Oh Lord, help us.
If it is that hard,
I need to come back.
I need to come back. You know. So yeah, you see that, and it might also interest you. That's why when you see Nigerians when they go there, they support policies that actually restrict other people from coming, but they don't want to be too much.
Yes. But what would you advise someone who is watching right now and they're more like, okay, so I found myself in this. What can I do?
I think,
and secondly, if person is thinking that, what if I do all of these things and at the end of the day, this insecurity mindset, more like I've gone through
what
things
happened to me,
or even those who have even gone out to help people and then they were beaten at the end of it.
So I don't think in most cases, this things have to involve physical violence or beating. I think
when I mean beating, when they say don't bite the finger that fed you.
Okay, the thing is, it's also like a better pass my neighbor mentality. The fact that you do something for people and you believe, you understand, that they should give you, or I made you sort of thing. I think it's more or less let everybody be fine. You understand? Let everybody be fine. Let us work together. Let us care about people genuinely, and the fact that a collective sense of identity is the closest thing that you can actually use to build a society.
Yeah.
You understand? And not having that idea is just like a group of people that went to war. Because they are not communicating, because everybody is trying to, the enemy will pick you up one after the individual. You don't know. They will kill this person because everybody has gone to themselves, have gone for themselves or gone together. If there is an enemy, it's easier for them to pick, kill you one after the other than when you are actually together and working together. So yeah, if people actually know that, this thing that is happening to this person, that it could happen to me, and have that sense of, I need to be interested in the things that will make another person better, so that the day it comes to your doorstep, you'll be better.
Yeah, I think it just boils down to genuinely wanting the good of other people and not just thinking about self, dying to selfish mindset.
Yeah, the selfish mindset.
Because it's just self. When self is glorified, you find out that everything is all about you. And that is why some people even preach the wrong part of self-care. All this self-care flying around. Some people's definition of self-care is as long as the other person is suffering and they are taking care of themselves. They don't care about their bad attitude, their bad character, the things that they do that are wrong. It's just more like, just take care of myself, protect my space, protect my energy. This one. And those things should actually be balanced in a way that you're also extending your selfless self to other people and not just about
and in the creative sense, I think I was listening to someone, I think I will give it to her, Madora Umina, that's her name. So she explained the fact that I think it was in the creative space, they need for
collaboration. She talks about it a lot.
Yeah, for people to collaborate and work together. When people collaborate and work together, they bring out more ideas. There's win-win for everybody. There's win-win for everybody. The money goes around. There's longevity because all the creative idea will not come from you.
Yes.
But the idea that once I have it, bam, I lock the door. I become a gatekeeper. I want to keep it to myself.
Yes.
So that other people will not. Just find out that
it's just you by yourself alone, and those are the people who are actually lonely at the top. Yes. All right, guys. I hope we got value from this video. Right?
If you get value,
please like, share, and subscribe. Comment. We want to see your comments down below.
And
and share it for more. Take care.